Restoration owners, it's Justin from Real Time Lead Gen, where we make your phone ring. I'm just going to go off my notes here on my large external monitor for reference. There's really no reason for you to watch this visually if you don't want. It's just going to be me reading off my notes. I've got my contact page on my site. Up here is a background, a picture of myself and my lovely girlfriend, of course. I've got my little bobblehead down here in the background of the screen. But yeah, it's just going to be me reading off my notes. We're going to be talking about blacklists. Phone number blacklist, to block incoming calls from robocalls, spammers, telemarketers, etc. How and why to use one. And I'll also be giving this away for free, no strings attached, for your own use, for your own benefit. Let's get into it. For starters, I've been tracking, recording, and filtering calls for many years now. And over that time, I've accumulated a growing blacklist of nearly 2,000 phone numbers that are from various robocallers and spammers. Think of all these horrible bullshit calls that you get all day, every day. If you're not filtering them, all these robocalls, we're just getting hammered with them anymore. It's getting worse and worse. The vast majority of these are I'm sure you've heard this, and it's maddening to me too, the Google My Business listing spam. And this one comes in first on my list because it especially pisses me off. It creates more of a negative connotation to marketing, internet marketing specifically. The industry as a whole adds to my barrier of entry when I try to land new clients because they have this, bad taste in their mouths from hearing that shit all day, every day. So, that gets my goat, especially as an ethical, competent marketer that does do Google business listing marketing. There's plenty of other telemarketing-based numbers on our blacklist, from live call centers too. You've got your, just call centers and spam like that. Other robocall messages, you get them about your car or health insurance. I get a lot or used to get a lot anyway, of warranty expirations, business loans, whatever other crap offer they're trying to scam you with. That's the bulk majority of our blacklist. But the one caveat that I will mention here, just to be clear, is there's a handful of numbers in this list from companies like Yelp, Thumbtack, Bark, Angie's, Home Advisor, Service Direct, and that whole crew. The reason I have them in here is because I don't want to get spam from them. And as far as I'm concerned, they're competition. I'll get into that here in a little bit, but just why I mention it here is if you're actively using any of those services for advertising or lead gen, keep that in mind, that at least some of those numbers from your customer service reps might be on our blacklist and not be able to dial through and reach you. So if you integrate our blacklist into your call tracking system, that's just something to keep in mind. So I would suggest getting a direct line, from whoever your contact point is at whatever company, and doing a search on our blacklist, making sure it's not in there, taking it out as necessary. Or, I wouldn't suggest this, but give them your personal cell that's not involved with your call tracking system. I wouldn't want to give them my personal cell either for, similar reasons we'll discuss here in a second, but that's just me, whatever. These guys are constantly registering new numbers to use as outbound numbers to come up on caller ID, because they know they're constantly getting blocked on their old numbers for, these reasons. So I doubt that would ever happen anyway. They just don't give up, but I felt it prudent to mention. Moving on. To me, that aforementioned group of lead gen companies and advertising services is not just the competition. This isn't just about bagging on the competition. But as far as I'm concerned, they're just straight up spam. My subjective opinion. I don't want to get sued for saying it. Just my thoughts. And with Yelp being especially aggressive and incessant, I'm sure we've all experienced that. These guys just hammer you with calls to upgrade and, more services, more advertising, more spend, etc. I mean, that's a separate issue. I just don't want these I have them on my blacklist here that we're talking about because I don't want these guys calling in, hammering my personal numbers, my business numbers, or my client numbers, trying to pitch their, and again, it's my subjective opinion when I call their services and leads inferior. I won't get into that right now, but, that's that. One other caveat to mention, if you're unfamiliar with how a lot of these robocall spammers work and how and why they show up on your caller ID as a local number, it's called spoofing. They know if they show up as a number that has a local area code to you, you're far more likely to pick it up thinking it's an actual real local person that wants to hire you for a job. That's done on purpose. It's highly purposeful, deceptive, and unethical. That's why they do it. There you have it. Some numbers... and again, just to be clear, as they get bought, as these companies, they burn through them, they start getting blocked, so they let them lapse. They may get re-registered by someone else in the future. So past, present, future, they may be coming from a number that you actually want to talk to as a real person. As someone, gets a new cell phone, gets assigned that number, the odds of this happening are, in the real world, in my opinion, and in years of experience, slim to none. Felt appropriate to mention this. The benefits of utilizing global blacklists like this, for these reasons, they far, far, far outweigh any potential, and again, likely to never ever happen anyway, negatives. The text file I have to send you if you want it, it's in the format that my tracking system uses for its global blacklist. If it's different than yours, a little find, replace, rejects action should sort it out for you. If not, if it's not in your wheelhouse to do that stuff, it's not my thing either. Ask your call tracking system support if you have one, or just ask your, tech-savvy daughter, son, niece, nephew, whatever. It's not my thing either, so don't ask me to reformat it for you. One final note, our call tracker recently integrated the Nomo Robo system, it's a hard one to say, which updates on the fly. It prevents most of this stuff from getting through in the first place, based on a cloud-based database from across the web. That's been a big relief to us. All the stuff, you have to deal with the spam. It starts to screw up potential billing and tracking and stats, and it can be a nightmare. So that, coupled with the IVRs we use, have eliminated nearly all spam from ever getting through to any of our numbers in the first place. And again, huge relief. It makes a big difference. Let's see. So if your current call tracking system has the option to set up an IVR, do it. Thankfully, the various robocall softwares are pretty stupid and don't have the technical ability to press a button to continue. By this I mean just something quick and easy will work wonders. By IVR, it's just, you call a number, you hear the press 1 to do XYZ. Robocallers generally can't do that, so it shuts them down right there. Prevents you having to answer some bullshit call and waste your time and money. Something quick for restoration owners specifically, which is all we do. Press 1 for emergencies, press 2 for water damage, press 3 for mold remediation, press 4 for fire damage, etc. Whatever you want to do, however you want to funnel it. That just makes sense. This not only slashes down spam for reasons just mentioned above, but it also serves the homeowner better by being clearly directed to the right department. This also makes you look like a real pro for that reason. Simple, easy, doesn't really cost you anything to set up or maintain. Plus it streamlines things on your end as well, which helps your staff internally. Think about it. And if nothing else, spend the $2 or so, if I remember correctly what the price was when I looked at it a while back, for the Nomo Robo app or something similar for your cell phone or your staff cell phone, and see if that doesn't drastically cut down, if not eliminate, all that bullshit time you're wasting on answering spam calls. Especially, you see something come up with that local spoofed number again, you answer it thinking it's a local client that's going to make you money, unless you're some asshole trying to pitch you some scam. And if you're not tracking and recording calls, for the love of God, start. You are hemorrhaging money for a variety of reasons that I went over in detail in my last video, which you can view here. I'll link to it in the description. Check it out. I tried to keep it short and tame. It got a little long, but it's a lot of good info based on years of tracking calls, recording calls, going over call flow, etc., etc. And of course, lead gen clients of ours, get your own custom dashboard with our call tracking system when you sign up. Has all this in place already. You don't have to worry about blacklists, adding, subtracting, setting anything up technically. It's all handled automatically. You don't have to stress about anything. You just enjoy clean, targeted, live restoration calls ringing through to your phone directly. Give us a call, text, or email to start the discussion. 570-316-4775, or reach me at justin@realtimeleadgen.com. Thanks for your time.